Hello and welcome to Spain. We spent we spent the week in Spain.
Yeah.
Our oldest spent the week in Alaska.
Yeah.
Not with us, which has been a recurring theme all summer long.
Yeah, we're ready for this summer and all this traveling to be over with.
So we just had the little one this week.
Yeah, it was just us with our 5-year-old, and we know our older daughter remembers when we studied Spain pretty well, so we thought, she can skip this one.
Yep.
We'll do Spain with our younger daughter.
Yep.
And
it was a tasty trip. It was a lot of games, and we read a lot of books.
Yeah, one of the first ways that we started this out, we actually took a trip to Spain when our oldest was only 17 months old. I'm not sure I recommend traveling that far with a toddler.
Terrible decision.
Just the plane flight. The rest of it was great.
We had just getting there. The first 10-hour flight was gray hairs.
I would say if you're going to go that far with a young child, you want to stay over a week, because the first couple of days you need a lot of days to recover from the first couple of days and to make it really worth it.
Waking up at 2 a.m. when your kid thinks it's like morning time and you're just like, oh, come back to sleep.
Yeah, it was a little rough, but we have some amazing pictures from it. So it was great because as we were studying different aspects of Spain, we were able to show our daughter about those areas that we were and the palaces that we saw and the food that we ate. And so that was really, really cool. So if you can ever make a personal connection, and we've had your parents are going to England, and we're going to be studying England, the British Isles at some point, and so we're going to be looking back at their pictures and things. So if you can make personal connections anytime, I think that's always really
it's 100%
helpful.
awesome. So we started it with the movie. A book and a movie.
A book and a movie.
A book and a movie. The book would be
Ferdinand. Ferdinand is a classic book. It's great. It's we talk about bullfighting, and I think it's a little bit difficult to talk about bullfighting with the kids because they, it's a really sensitive thing because they kill the bull, and that's very sad and can be a little disturbing to kids. So, your mileage may vary with your kiddo and their sensitivities. Our daughter was definitely like, wait a second, they killed the bull? I was like, yeah. So we had to kind of talk about traditions in different countries and how, we don't do a lot of those things anymore. So
and even it's becoming not something they do in Spain. So yeah.
Right, yeah, because of the animal cruelty aspects. And so anyway, led for some interesting conversations, but it is a good book about a bull who just wants to smell the flowers and who doesn't want to fight and then doesn't end up having to fight. And so we did that, and then we went to your parents' house.
We watched Ferdinand
on Disney+.
Which was great. John Cena voices Ferdinand, and it was a really
great Spanish actor, John Cena.
Classic, famous, it could have been Antonio. And then we also watched...
that's right. We watched...
Speaking of famous Spanish actors.
So we watched Ferdinand first. The movie is very good. It also deals much more heavily than the book with the idea of death and the killing of the bulls. So
and there's the opening scene where his father goes off to fight in the thing, and he never comes back, and it's very clear that he lost the bullfight. Yeah, at some point the bulls who aren't going to be chosen for the bullfighting ring end up going to the chop house to become. They don't end up dying, but spoiler alert. But just know that there's much more discussion about that. So really be careful if your kids are sensitive. It's an animated movie, and it was very good, and our 5-year-old, 8-year-old loved it, but just be aware. Yeah. So we did that, and then you're right. We watched, the little one and I watched Puss in Boots, the first one, because it is set in Spain. Even though it's all fairy tale characters and Humpty Dumpty's in it. Antonio Banderas and...
Yeah, and Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. And anyway, it was just fun.
Puss and Boots.
It was cute. So if, you want something a little more playful, our 5-year-old thought it was amazing. So if you want something a bit more playful, that's an option for that.
Yep, absolutely. So Maria the Matador.
Again, on the bullfighting side, this one doesn't play into the bull death. So if you want a bullfighting book that doesn't discuss the fact that they harm the bulls or really talk about that, this would be a good one for you if you just want to talk about that from like a cultural aspect. Because in this one, it's a contest, and whoever is the best bullfighter defeats the bull wins a lifetime supply of churros. And Maria loves churros.
Sign me up.
With chocolate. Because who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't?
And so, and at the end, she and the bull share churros. So no bull death in this book. It's really cute. Our daughter really loved it. So Maria the Matador is a good pick.
Lola's Fandango. Flamenco dancing?
Yes. So we watched some flamenco dancing first, some YouTube videos, and then we read this book. It's really cute. It's about a little girl who discovers that her mom used to be a flamenco dancer. And so she and her father teaches her like in secret so that she can surprise her mom with dancing. It's a little bit of a long book for a picture book, so be aware of quite a few words.
I remember reading this one on the last pass when you...
So you might break it up into 2 readings if your kid kiddo can't sit that long, but it was cute and our daughter really enjoyed it. And you could either read this and then do some flamenco. I think there's some rhythmic things in this book, and I think it was helpful to have already seen a little bit of flamenco dancing before reading this book. And then you can use this as a springboard to watch more if your child's interested in that. But there is some rhythmic stuff that I think made more sense to our daughter because she'd seen a little bit of flamenco dancing.
Very cool. Now,
go
ahead.
Just one thing I want to mention with the books that we did Reserve Food Fight Fiesta, which is all about the Spanish festival where they throw tomatoes at each other. And it's a really fun book, and we read it last time, so I just want to give that honorable mention. Food Fight Fiesta was really good. We just didn't get it in time from the library. But there's also really great videos in our resource guide of that tomato festival.
Cool. So part of Spain that we wanted to do was study forests, specifically in that northern region. So something we wanted to do. So we've got this lovely book about Let's Save Our Planet Forests.
This is a really cool book.
Has more of an environmental bent on it?
Yeah, so this covers boreal forests, rainforests, deciduous forests, and it talks a lot about endangered animals and
timbering,
effects of deforestation and climate and ecotourism, and just all the different effects and things that we can do to help our forests. So this would be a great book for any of the different types of forests. If you're studying boreal or whatever, you could pull this book back in. It would be a good forest spine for that biome. That was a good book. We liked that.
Just continuing with our beastly biomes is kind of our main spine of the biome work.
Yeah, we wanted to just bring it back and mention because this is the first book that we read every week when we start a new biome. We grab beastly biomes and say, okay, let's open to this page and remember this is the biome we're talking about this week. We read the entire thing at the beginning of this journey, and then every time we do a new biome, we just
come back to it.
Refresh by going back.
Just want to keep reminding.
This is our guide for how we broke up the biomes, which is why we wanted to keep mentioning it, because there's lots of ways you can break up biomes.
Find Me Adventures in the Forest.
Our kids love look and finds. I don't know about your kiddos.
We've always been look and find kids.
Yeah, but ours love it, and so these kinds of look and finds are great. And they've got a little bit of information. They're not super info heavy. They're more just something fun. Yeah. But just wanted to show you because it could be something you could find. I think we got this one off Amazon, but you could get them at the library. Just remember that look and finds for biomes and different animal stuff is a great way to go to keep your kiddos interested and kind of rooted in the biome.
Yep, absolutely. We also spent a day and had a little bit of a game thing. We had first one we played was Alhambra. If you are in was it Granada, I believe?
Yep, in Granada.
In Granada, in the southern area of Spain. We were fortunate enough to play the Alhambra while looking out our window at the Alhambra.
Yeah, we packed it up and took it with us all the way over there. This was the Game of the Year winner in 2003.
2003. Isn't that when we... No, it was...
No.
We hadn't met yet.
Yeah, but we actually got this years later. Yeah. It's a really cool tile drafting game. You have to pay for it. So there's resource management.
The funny thing is our little one was kind of getting it by the end.
She was. It's too advanced for, what does it say? It says 8+, it's 2 to 6 players.
She played on a team. She played with Ariel, and then together you guys worked. And
it went really well. So this was a really fun one if you like Spanish culture and want to get this one, or if your library has one of those cool game lending libraries that we don't have. But anyway, this is one we've had for many, many years. We really like it.
Absolutely worth a purchase. Yeah,
we pulled it out.
If you are spending any time in Barcelona, they have the Sagrada game, which is another drafting game.
Yeah, so this one, what's cool is that you're actually making a stained glass window. So we watched a whole video about the building of the Sagrada Familia, I think, again, from our resource guide. And then we played this game where you're doing dice drafting and you're making the stained glass window.
And again, our youngest was playing this with us.
Yeah. Right. So this one is, I think, a little more advanced. Maybe it's like 10 plus.
Yeah.
She played on a team with me, though. And I think she did fine. She didn't fully understand the strategy, but it was really fun to bring it in.
Mm-hmm. She enjoyed rolling the dice, drafting all the dice.
Our 8-year-old could have, she wasn't home for this, obviously, but she could have absolutely played this.
She would have played this alone. Yeah, she would have been on her own team.
She would have been fine. So this was really fun. We did these 2 games, and we did a tapas experience.
Yes, but it was a special one. We're going to trademark this. This was the Trader Joe's tapas experience.
Yeah, so we went to Trader Joe's because they have the tortilla, the Spanish tortilla, which is the egg and potato kind of cake thing. It's like an omelet or frittata or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, really great. And then we got a bunch of other different types of appetizers and things from Trader Joe's that we thought that our daughter would like.
And mac and cheese.
They weren't all Spanish.
Stuffed things.
Yeah, mac and cheese bites. We got little
we had meatballs and mozzarella sticks.
We had all kinds of stuff. So what we did was, what we really liked about it was that the price was pretty low. So you could do this at Aldi too if you have an Aldi in your area. But we just got these little bags and we just took out a few and we had these snacks while we played games. And it was a whole game. It was a whole day of tapas and games.
And we got a bottle of, we were looking for a Rioja. And we couldn't find it, but at Costco they had this Portuguese wine.
They had a Portuguese wine.
Which we're like, close enough.
Right. Well, we were originally wanting to pull in Portugal. We have the game Azul from Portugal, but we didn't quite get to it that day.
Yeah.
And the only thing we didn't do at Trader Joe's was they had Portuguese custard cod bites. And we weren't brave enough on that one.
We were not brave enough.
So comment below if you love the cod custard bites and we are missing out.
There's someone out there who's like, oh my gosh, you run into the freezer. I got 10 bags of
these. These are amazing. Yeah, let us know if those are amazing. But we weren't brave enough. They were from Portugal. And we were like, we should probably, but we didn't do it.
No.
So anyway, this was a really fun week.
And we actually watched the movie ourselves as well.
Right. So we watched a movie called The Way, which I think is from 2013. Emilio Estevez wrote, directed. It stars Martin Sheen.
His dad, yeah.
And it's a really incredible story. I don't think there's anything really bad in it, but kids will just be bored.
No.
This is an adult movie for that reason, because it's a little slower. But basically, it's about Martin Sheen as a father who travels to Spain because his son has died doing the Camino de Santiago. So he's doing that pilgrimage from France to
the edge of the Pyrenees all the way across northern Spain and finishing in Santiago de Compostela, I think is the town, and then there's a little bit extra to the ocean, and he has his son's ashes, and he's kind of coming to terms with his son's passing, but he's picking up people along the way.
Yeah, he's also meeting people, and he's discovering, his son was a cultural anthropologist, and so he's discovering what his son loved about travel. And why he would choose to do a trip like this, and so it takes him months, and he's learning a lot about it.
He's kind of abrasive. It's just it's Martin Sheen, one of my favorite Martin Sheen movies.
Yeah, it's really terrific. And so I highly recommend for an adult movie night that you're ready for kind of a slow, kind of thinky piece.
Really get the culture because of the drinking and the food and the people and the environment, the nature.
And everyone has their own reason for walking on doing this trip, and it's none of them are religious reasons. They're all doing it for their own personal reasons, their own personal journeys.
Yeah.
And you're right, it shows all of this beautiful landscape of the Basque region of Spain.
Yep.
So it's a really great movie. We just rented it on Prime Video, so you can find it there easily enough. So that was really good.
Yep, that was really good.
So the other thing to mention in terms of experiences this week, we actually took 2 forest hikes. We did one with our younger daughter alone, and then when our older daughter returned from her trip, we went all as a family again.
Well, secretly, the children are in training and they don't know it because we're trying to increase their stamina of going hiking. And
we are, because we really want to do more hiking.
We'll put the distance timer. I'm like, sweetie, we've gone 0.8 miles.
Yeah,
we should probably turn around before we lose this one. We're having to play games out there and also seeking and using the Seek app.
So that's what we really wanted to talk about is that if you don't have this app, it's called Seek. From
SEEK, right?
Yep, and I want to say it's not National Geographic, I don't think.
Audubon Society or something?
Maybe it is National Geographic. Anyway, it's a free app, and it basically allows you to use your phone camera and look at kind of anything living. So it'll do
mushrooms and bugs and plants and
birds or small animals.
The nuts or acorns and things of that nature.
Spiders, reptiles. It'll look at anything as long as it's not moving too quick for the camera to recognize it. And it'll give you some information about it. If you can't see it clear enough, it'll just tell you what subgroup
species it is or whatever.
What genus it's in. And so it'll give you some information. It'll tell you how prevalent it is in your area and if you've seen that before. So our girls were running all through the forest. Seek this plant. Look at this one, Mommy. What does it say about this? So we discovered, this is a sword fern and this is a huckleberry. Mm-hmm. And so it really helped our girls learning about the forest. And we talked as we walked about forest ecosystem.
It was a great way to bring in the biome.
It was a wonderful way to do it. So we kind of bookended this by going on our first hike at the beginning before we really studied the biome and just kind of talking about, enjoying the forest. And then by the end of the week, we had, more context. And I think the Seek app is a great way to get kids interested. It kind of gamifies the situation a little bit because there's badges to earn when you see more things. And it's a free app. So I highly recommend that you check that out.
Absolutely.
But it was a great way for us to make an experience out of the biome we studied.
Absolutely. So we're off to Japan, and we're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
And we're excited. We're already gathering the books. I went to pick them up today, so we're going to be starting a fresh country. We're going from Europe all the way to Asia.
Yeah. We're going to study the ocean with it, the marine biome. So we're pretty darn excited.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.